Okay, to give myself less work to do, I'm going to divide the Royal Knights videos into two parts. One part will be talking about the Royal Knights as a whole. Another part will be talking about the Royal Knights individual members. So for this video, I'm going to talk about the Royal Knights as a whole. The Royal Knights is a society of people who want nothing more than to save the world from these disgusting beings called Nightwalkers. No one knows when and where they came from, but for centuries the Royal Knights has been protecting their land from these monsters and seek a way to eliminate them permanently. The Royal Knights are created by 9 different types of knights: the Adapters, the Fatalists, the Exorcists, the Elementals, the Magicians, the Inventors, the Beastmen, the Warriors, and the Royals. Let's start with the Adapters. The Adapters are people who can adapt to any situation they are put into, hence the name. And they can defend themselves even without a weapon, like nothing. The Adapters have survival instincts. They can hunt, fish, build, and scavenge. They're kind of like Cub Scouts. They're also the ones who make the plans, able to scout out everything, always knows what to do, and the one you can highly rely on. People who are usually Adapters are Rangers, Hunters, Explorers, and Scavengers. The next is the Fatalists. The Fatalists are the quiet ones. They fight with confidence that they will win, and they have the skills to prove it. The Fatalist has all sorts of abilities depending on the people who are in that category. For example, ninjas, thieves, and assassins are usually hidden in the darkness and able to hide in the shadows and attack unexpectedly. However, samurais, monks, martial artists go straight on when they go to attack their opponents. The Fatalists are one of the few members on the Royal Knights who has the ability to sense Nightwalkers. Since Fatalists spent years of training isolated, they are not very good at communicating with their teammates, so they often go off on their own during their own plan without speaking anything, which causes troubles of the other members because they don't know what they're doing. Alright, next is the Exorcists. The Exorcists are spiritual people. They are connected to the souls of all living things. They can also sense the feelings of Nightwalkers, which is strange to them because they never considered that Nightwalkers can feel anything. Exorcists are also the other members who has the ability to sense Nightwalkers. Exorcists are mostly healers, but they can also be mediums or psyches. Witches and warlocks can also be exorcists as well. Next is the Elementals. The Elementals can control all elements. Duh. The main ones are earth, wind, fire, water. They can also control sub-elementals like lightning, lava, ice, etc. The only downside is about being a elemental is that you can only control the maximum of 2 different elements, plus any setup elements that those 2 can contain. You are not allowed to hold all 4. When one elemental controls all 4, their body starts to break down, collapse, and then you slowly die with all that pain. It sucks. So that's why the royal members always have 2 elementals on the team. It is required. It's also required that the 2 elementals have to be bonded in some sort of way. They can be siblings, parents and child, a loving couple like they're married or dating, lovers, some form of bond. They don't need to be actually together like related. They could be just best buds, but still, they just need some form of bond that connects them with each other. Elementals sometimes is considered as magic users. Even though there's no proof that it is magic, they are just in that category. Speaking of magic, the Magicians. The Magicians can perform the strongest of spells. They take years of training their magic and even more years of studying to be a true, strong magician. They are able to create their own spells as long as they have enough creativity. They can make anything out of thin air. Some of the spells that they can do is teleportation spells, levitation spells, offensive spells, defense spells, transmutation spells, and only a few people can do this, dark spells. People who fit in the magicians categories are usually sorcerers, sorceress, witches, mages, sages, fairies, and so on and so forth. There are a lot of them that can use magic. Magic is one of the most important things in Sora's world. The Inventors. The Inventors are the smartest members of the Royal Knights. They can create any inventors they think of. Some believe that the Inventors can use magic because some of the things they do looks like magic, but it's not. A few of these inventors can use alchemy, which is magic with science. They use a lot of potions, magic stones, magical flowers, essence from magical people, if they allow them to. These inventors are really easy to notice who they are. They're usually scientists, scholars, alchemists. It's really hard to come by an inventor because they're always changing. There's always something new about the inventors, while there's always the same with the other members. The inventors are always changing. The Beastmen. The Beastmen are in a class all on their own. Beastmen are a race of humanoid animals. They have mostly animal features like horns, claws, and hooves, but human features like muscular bodies, human fingers, and intelligent minds. Each beastman has their own skills that works with their type of animal. Like rabbits has very high speed, foxes can make tricky clones / objects, snakes can spit toxic spit, stuff like that. Beastmen are the newest members of the Royal Knights. Beastmen has not been seen as equal as the normal human beings until recently during that time. The Warriors. The Warriors are the most basic of the Royal Knights, but they're also the strongest. They spent years of dedication of learning any type of swordsman's fighting style. They can use long swords, short swords, great swords, claymore, broadswords. They don't even have to use swords. They can use bow and arrows, staffs, gauntlets, a scythe, anything that counts as a weapon. The warriors are usually categorized as Vikings, Valkyries, archers, and, well, knights. And last but not least, the royals. The royals are the leaders of the Royal Knights. They make the rules and give guidance to not just their comrades, but the people they are protecting. There are usually one royal who leads, but sometimes there are two. But just like the elementals, these two need to have some sort of bond. And they discuss with each other what decisions and what choices they make. And they rely on each other to make the correct decision. Other members can make suggestions towards the royals, but as they say the last word, if they tell you no, that's final, do not disobey them. The royals are quite special because they have the ability to use every ability that each of the royal members have, including the beastmen. They don't need to look like beastmen, but they can still have their special abilities. Now, what makes a royal knight a royal knight? Like I said, nobody knows where or when the royal knights came from. But what the information that the past royal knights has, they all have the same thing. They were just drawn to each other, as if something was telling them to band together. Some royal knights have said that a light has showed them what they can do. What is their goal? Each generation of royal knights has seek a different goal. One goal will be guidance, one goal will be survival, one can be rising up, and one might be change. It's up to the royal knights to figure out what exactly they're supposed to do with their goal. And that's all I have to say about the royal knights. There's not much information that is there, but it's as much as I can give you. These pictures already show you a few people who were the royal knights. So I hope you like it. Sorry for the long wait. It's just been it's one, vacation, two, I've been having artist block lately, and I think I'm just working way too hard and overwhelming myself with so many things to do. So like, comment, subscribe. I have a DeviantArt if you want to see a lot more stuff. I also have a Twitter if you just want to see me there. I sometimes post my art there too. I also have a Patreon. If you want me to draw something for you, send $30 my way. Thank you, and bye!